What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's having a great day. Thanks for tuning in. It means a lot. When you are talking about the subject of particularly marriage and what you see in the comments about the discussion, a lot of men in particular are saying that they are not going to either get married or pretty much marriage is for the birds. That's what a lot of men are saying. And women too are saying that, they have their own peace and they're glad for the decisions that they have made to no longer be married and whatnot. So I was thinking, with so many people having problems, for lack of a better word, in the marriage relationship, what does the future look like for marriage? I'm thinking about that as I was riding around today. What does the future look like for marriage? And I wonder, and y'all can put this in the comment section, to those men who have said that they're not going to get married, it's not something they want to do. If marriage is all required, those that will still get married according to the state, and you go through that process, not just under God, but you actually are going through the state and the marriage certificate and all these things. I wonder, would it change the opinion of especially men if all marriages were required to have a prenup, where it was already determined before the marriage even began how the assets and property and things would be divided in case of a divorce. I wonder, would that sway the minds and the opinions of men who right now are saying they would not want to get married again? Because it seems like not only does a divorce bring a lot of emotional pain for men, and of course it does for both sides, especially if you've been together any amount of years, you really, unless you was just in a terrible marriage where you just could not wait to get out and you was counting down the days. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about people who at one time they got along, maybe had kids, had a family, and then over time things changed, which ultimately ended up in divorce. When that happens and you've been with the same person for 7, 8, 9 years plus, 5 years, 3 years plus, some of us into the 20-year mark and beyond, and then it ends in divorce, that'll take a lot out of you. So, especially for men, which carries a lot of the burden of responsibility of the breakup, regardless of whose fault it was, regardless of the reason that it was, men are going to take the bigger hit. I mean, unless she just went out and just, she'd have to go out and do some crazy stuff before society really, pointed the finger at the woman and said, oh, you're responsible. She would have to go out and have, a baby by somebody else, or, do some, make videos that she should not have with somebody. I mean, she would have to do something very blatant for the mass of society to say, well, yeah, he needs to go ahead, or their marriage needs to go ahead and end. But other than something like that, most of the time, it's the man that's going to take the brunt of why that marriage ended, as well as a bigger of the financial burden that comes with that. So I was just wondering, if all marriages were required by law to have a prenuptial agreement before you got married, that it was already understood what it would be, I wonder, is that enough to entice men and pull men back into the idea of it? Because from where I'm sitting, and I don't want to say it this way, but from where I'm sitting and I'm reading the comments and I'm watching people in real time, how they moving and how they speak of it, it would appear that marriage is really doomed. It really does. People are waiting later, which they should anyway, so that, maturity can set in. But I don't think that they're doing it so that they can be mature. I just think that the sense of being married is no longer a concern overall, So matter of fact, I say anyway that if you're not doing it under God or unto God, if it's not for a higher power reason, if it's not for a spiritual reason, I don't see where marriage benefits anyway. Because if you're, it's really unto God, right? It's the vows unto God. It's making a commitment towards one another, but you're still doing it unto the Lord. If you take that away, I don't know. I know that there are those that can survive and love one another and have 30, 40 years of ups and downs and still make it. But for the most part, I would say the vast majority, it doesn't really work that way. And I just wonder if a prenup would at least allow men to say, we're willing to look into this either a second time, or we're willing to do this for a first time and see where it goes. I don't know if it'll stop the divorce rate, though. I'm not saying that. I don't know, it's still going to end up probably in the same situation. I don't think it'll stop divorce. Matter of fact, like I've said this on other videos about women who right now, for the most part, benefit financially somewhat more than men. Women do benefit. I understand that, a lot of people not going to agree with that, but for the most part, women will benefit more. There are some women who make more and this, that, and the third, but when you put in all that has to go along with it, for the most part, women benefit more. If it come out that men and women, it will be an equal benefit. In other words, making it easier for men to get out because he won't have the burden of all the other things that we have to do right now to get out. Man, it may even make the divorce rate go higher. Because I've always been under the impression that, I've said this before, and you all have heard this, it is cheaper to keep her. So in essence, that means that the man has thought about, I don't really want to be with her no more. But if I divorce her, it's going to cost me too much. But I don't really want to be with her, right? Within me, I don't really want to be with her. I'm tired of her mouth. I'm tired of her ways, whatever. I'm tired of her attitude. I'm tired of her mood swings. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. I don't really want to be with her. I done found somebody else. I don't really want to be with her. But it's cheaper to keep her. So it came back to the money part. Since it's cheaper to keep her, I'll just put my head down and bear through this pain. But what if it wasn't cheaper to keep her? What if it was cheaper or as cheap to get out than it is right now? You come to the table with $20, you leave with $20. You come to the table with $100, you leave with $100. We got to sell the house, split the money in half, everybody go their separate ways. We got 2 cars, you take one, I take one. We're going to come to the agreement on child support. It's not going to cost somebody an arm and a leg. It's going to be something real. Man. Because right now, the future of marriage, it don't look good. People just not signing up for it anymore. So something's going to have to happen. Just like, when people don't want to work or at least work that particular job, they have to come up with something that's attractive. We're going to give you get a $5,000 sign-on bonus, come on work for us to try to entice the people to start applying. But right now, marriages just don't look good. Don't seem like that's something that people want to do anymore, as they are realizing that it's just not working. And then the headache of trying to get out of it, and the pain and the stress and the memories and the time and the kids and the arguing and the bickering and the lawyers and the lawyers is making money and you're running out of money. Has any y'all been through divorce lately? These retainer fees, $1,000 retainer fee, you ain't did nothing. You went to court for me twice and sent me some documents on a portal, and I'm sending you $1,000 every 2 or 3 months. Anybody got time for that? As the lady said, anybody got time for that, man? So what y'all think? Fellas, if every marriage required a prenup, would you be more apt to do it, or would you still feel like I'm not doing it? Because again, money is just one side. You still got time and energy and emotions involved. So when I'm talking prenup, I'm strictly speaking from the money side of it. That's it. So is the money side of it enough, fellas, to make y'all say it's something that I'm willing to do as long as this is in motion? And ladies, what do y'all think? Would y'all be interested in marriage if y'all knew I ain't really gonna get nothing out of it if we get a divorce? But it'd be equal. So it's not like you wouldn't get anything. It's just there will be no great benefit. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Get in the comments. This is just thoughts of the mind today. Let me know what y'all think.